multi-step proportions. Here we go. You know proportions. We cross multiply them, set them equal to each other to solve. So here we're going to be multiplying 7 times this entire x plus 4. What's going on with the smartboard? We may never know. Here we go. It'll hopefully lock back in a second. So the way we're going to say 7 times this x plus 4 is we'll set it up like a distribution problem. Are we good? We live? So we're going to say 7 parentheses x plus 4. Hopefully that'll show up here. There we go. All right, we're ready. 7 times x plus 4 equals, the other cross products are 5 times x minus 2. So we'll set that up with parentheses. 5 times x minus 2. Our equation's set up, so now we just start rolling through our steps. Distribute. 7 times x, 7x. 7 times 4, 28. On the other side, 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. After you distribute, it was clear fractions or decimals. There aren't any. Then it was combine like terms on the same side. There's nothing to do there. So now we're getting the variables on the same side. I would get rid of the 5x if I was doing this, but you could also get rid of the 7x. Remember, if it's positive 5x, we're just going to subtract it. If it was negative 5x, we would just add it. So we're going to subtract 5x from both sides. 7x minus 5x is 2x. 2x plus 28 equals, 5x's cancel out, 5x minus 5x, and then you have the negative 10 over there. Okay, then it's undo addition and subtraction. I see plus 28, so we'll cancel that by subtracting 28. Negative 10 minus 28 would be negative 38. So we'll have 2x equals negative 38. And then your last step is to undo multiplication and division. So we're just going to divide by that 2 on both sides. And half of negative 38 would be negative 19. I don't know why it's going slow. It always starts super slow like this. X equals negative 19. Great. So we're going to do that same thing each time. Cross products are equal to each other, but set it up like a distribution situation. So let's try out number 2. Maybe. There we go. So we got to do 14 times x. Now that's just two things multiplying together. You could just multiply them right away. 14 times x is 14x equals, we got to do 10 times that x plus 2. So we're going to distribute first. We're going to distribute that 10. Whew, wow. Yeah, there we go. There it is. 14x equals 10 times x is 10x. 10 times 2 is 20. So it'll say 10x plus 20 eventually. 10x plus 20. Once that catches up, we're going to have to get the x's on the same side. So you could get rid of the 14x if you wanted by subtracting it, or we're going to get rid of the 10x by subtracting that from both sides. So minus 10x minus 10x. 14x minus 10x would just leave us with 4x. So we'll have 4x equals 20. Wow. There it goes. All right, 4x equals 20. And then we're going to have to divide by that 4. Now, all these problems so far have worked out to nice whole numbers. It's not always the case, so just simplify them as fractions. Or sometimes it might say to use decimals, and that's fine too. But 4x equals 20, we'll divide by 4, and 20 divided by 4 is just 5. X equals 5. Hey, sorry about the delay here. I don't know why it does this every day. Maybe it's just this program uses a lot of computing power. Who knows? Who knows? X equals 5. So it's the same process each time. Cross products, distribute, get the variables on the same side, and then you do your two-step equations from there. All right, same thing, number 3. We're gonna cross product, or check this out. The right side, you have 35/7. 35 divided by 7 is just 5. So if you wanted, you could make this 5/1, or just make it 5. It would come out with the same answer if you kept it 35/7. Now, I do want you to think of this as 5/1 for a second, because when we're setting up the cross products, the 5 is going to go with the x plus 4. So we'll have 5 times x plus 4 equals 1 times x minus 15. If you multiply something by 1, it doesn't change, so you don't need to write the 1. We'll just say x minus 15. We'll distribute 5 times x, 5x, 5 times 4, 20. So 5x plus 20 equals 1x minus 15. Gotta get the x's together. So you can get rid of the 5x by subtracting it. Or what we're gonna do is get rid of the x. It's positive x, so we're gonna subtract an x from both sides. 5x minus x is 4x plus 20 equals negative 15. Gee whiz, how are we going to get rid of plus 20? Probably by subtracting it. Negative 15 minus 20 would be negative 35. So 4x equals negative 35. And then we're going to just divide by the 4. Now 35 and 4 don't have anything in common except for 1, so we could just leave it. X equals negative 35 fourths. Or if you want, you can turn that into negative 8 3/4 or negative 8.75. All of those are technically correct. Now our notes has about 9 of these, I think, maybe 7. It's the same procedure each time. So let's maybe just do one more. Find the worst one I can find. All right, we'll do number, that's not the worst one. 8's probably the toughest one. Set the cross products. It's 10 with the x minus 12, so 10 times x minus 12 equals 9 times the x plus 5. We gotta distribute. So 10 times x, 10x. 10 times negative 12, negative 120. Over here, 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 5 is 45. All right. I would subtract 9x from both sides if I was doing this. 10x minus 9x is 1x. X minus 120 equals 45. And then we just have to get rid of minus 120 by adding 120. So that would give us x equals 165. So we've practiced the multi-step proportions 4 times at this point. Now we're going to bring in some of those similar figures, the scale drawings, which we did this before. So these are kind of like word problems with proportions where consistency is the key. The child in the figure is 3 feet tall. So if I write that on this picture, that might make it a little easier. 3 feet. Now if you look at the other numbers they give us, the shadow of the tree is 8 feet, but the shadow of the child is 60 inches. So we either need them both in inches or both in feet. How many inches are in 1 foot? 12. So if you took 60 inches, divided it by 12, that would give you 5 feet. So The kid's shadow is 5 feet or 60 inches. The kid's height is 3 feet or 36 inches, right? 3 times 12. If we were to convert 8 feet into inches, 8 times 12 is 96. So you can work in either one, but you have to, if you're using inches on one, use inches on the other. If you're using feet on one, use feet on the other. How tall is the tree? Now, if we were to call this X, if we were to use the little kid here, and we were using like actual height over shadow, the kid is 3 feet tall, and his shadow is 5 feet long. The height of the tree is X feet tall. We don't know how tall it is, but the height of the shadow, or the length of the shadow, is 8 feet long. We chose to use feet on this one. If you want, you can use inches, and it would still be correct. But if we were to cross multiply here, 5 times x is 5x, equals 3 times 8 is 24, and then you just got to divide by the 5. So you get 24 fifths, or 5 goes into 24 4 times, and that would leave us with 4 fifths left over, or in decimal form, that would be 4.8. These are all feet. Those are all options here. All right, let's see what this last one says. The cat casts an 18-inch shadow. How tall is the cat? So, all right, you can say 18 inches. Now, if you want to convert that into a foot, you could divide it by 12, and that would give you 1.5 feet. But this cat's going to be pretty tiny if we're looking for the height of the cat. So I'd say let's go ahead and just use inches on this one. All right, so if we were to use the boy and his shadow, or the kid, I don't know. So the kid was 36 inches tall, and the shadow was 60 inches. So we could say 36 over 60. So that was height over shadow. The height of the cat, we don't know. So let's call it C for cat. And then the shadow of the cat is 18 inches. All right, we're going to cross multiply and solve. 60 times C is 60C. 36 times 18, I don't know that. 36 times 18, 648. We could go ahead and divide that by 60. 10.8 inches tall. Now, if we were to convert that into a fraction, ooh, this brings back some old stuff. Now that's 10, and the 8 goes to the first decimal spot, which is called the tenths. So this would be 10 and 8 tenths, which if you simplify 8 tenths, that would be 4 fifths. So we could say 10 and 4 fifths inches. Ooh, and if we were to even convert that into an improper, 5 times 10 is 50, plus 4 is 54, so we could even say 54 fifths inches. These are all correct. So unless you're specifically told what to go for, go with whatever option you want. I think that might be the last one. We did it. We're done with multi-step proportions. Well done.